All right.
Okay. You recording now?
Yeah.
Okay. Three, two, one.
What's good, everyone? Hope you all are having like an amazing week.
Okay. I'm gonna stop.
It's fine. Okay,
Okay.
start again.
It's okay, fine.
What's up, everyone? Hope everyone's having an amazing weekend. As you boys know, here's Sid, and today we are joined with Jairaj and Sehan. Both of them have started a company of their own, and they're UVC sorter students. So I'm gonna let you guys like introduce yourselves, tell us what Sense is all about, and yeah, let's do it.
Sure, yeah, you want to go ahead? So, I mean, we both are co-founders of
Hey,
Sense.
camera. Yeah.
Yeah, we both are co-founders of Sense. Sense is like an advertising agency. What we do is we put advertisements on water bottles. You can show one of the water bottles. Yeah. We put advertisements on water bottles and we hand them out for free. So essentially, we're trying to like spice up the offline marketing game
Mm-hmm.
by competing with billboard advertising and pamphlet advertising by making offline advertisements more interactive with customers. So essentially, by giving them a free commodity so that the ad is of more value to them. So yeah, that's
Right.
what we do.
And like we try and distribute it at high traffic areas so that it attracts, footfall for the advertisers.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's fair.
So, how did you guys like come up with this idea? So, what I can gather, this is like a portable ad agency essentially, correct? Did I get that right?
Yeah,
Type of, yeah.
Okay, so tell me, yeah, how did you guys start Sense? Tell us.
Wait, before that, though, I'm curious. How did you guys meet?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
How
that's a
did you
fair
guys
question.
meet?
That's a fair question. Yeah.
Good question. So we met like long time back during before university.
Okay.
So we both are following each other on like just social media platforms because we met during MUNs.
Okay.
Model Nation.
Yeah, yeah.
So I met him over there. He was
Wait,
like
just
judging one of
one
the
put the
debates.
mic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like judging one of the debates where I was like a participant of.
Okay.
So I met him and then we connected on social media. We used to just reply on each other's stories and just our friendship was still there.
Yeah.
And then what happened was then when we came to UBC, I think I saw his story of coming to UBC a bit late. I think you came a bit late. Yeah. And then when he came, I was like, oh, you're also coming to UBC. And then we met over here, and then it just
Okay. This history started there.
yeah.
That's amazing, dude. Like
also,
that's
like if I don't know if you boys watch like football,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
but the MUN like committee which we were like I was the chair of was you.
Okay. Okay.
He was I think the delegate of like Man City or something.
Man City.
That's
I love
fire. Yeah, he's a City fan.
So he's a City fan and I'm a Madrid fan.
Yeah.
But like I started speaking to him about like the football at that time.
Oh wow.
It was
Okay.
around 2021,
Mhm.
and I mean City were winning anyways at that time.
Yeah.
Still winning.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, wait,
Five
what?
games, yeah, like
otherwise.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So I'm curious, like you guys met in UBC properly. Like you guys have obviously had like known each other from before.
Yeah.
But you guys, when did this idea even get conceived? Like, was it in first year for you guys, or like, how did this even come across?
So first year for us was a bit, like we were here for fun and like we didn't have any specific goal in mind during our first year. What we came was we just came here to just see what a university life is and we were just going with the flow.
Okay.
During our second year is where we realized that we have to like pull up our socks and just be focus and both of us I think were in a tangent where we were like we want to do something, we want to
Right.
create something and we want to like
Mhm.
build something for us in the future as well.
Right.
Just not limited to the club aspect of
Yeah.
like how universities
Right.
are quite limited to the club aspect as well.
Right.
So we wanted to build something outside of that. And then one day, like I think around September end, we both of us sat together and we were like, we evaluated that what do we want to do? Like, do we want to go into the job aspect more or do the startup aspect more or the creative aspect more? Then we evaluated all of this for like a good 3-4 days. Then we realized that yeah, we want to do something in the startup industry. And then we sat down for like another like few a week or so. We like listed around 84 ideas.
Yeah, it was 84 ideas. All
83, 84 ideas.
All on a Google Doc, all with pros and cons of those
Right.
ideas. Like 1, 2, 3 pros and cons, discussing like what all inspiration we can have, what are the like doing the whole analysis of each and every idea, and then after like talking throughout like for a whole week, because we both wanted to do something that is not just another startup which gets started in the university and just ends there.
Answer. Yeah.
Yeah, we wanted something like which we can take, which genuinely creates a, like a lasting impact. Like
Mhm.
it's an idea where people go like, wow, we wanted something to we wanted
Right.
to create something like that. So we matched our idea number 5 with idea number 10, idea number 10 with idea number 70,
Right.
50, and then we came up with this whole concept.
Dude,
And
that's
and like one thing I'd like to say is that my dad always told me that, and I'm gonna quote him of this, but if you're going to business school, what the hell are you doing if you don't try and run a business?
100%.
Right.
Is what his mindset was,
Yeah.
and that is something that I feel like it pushed us quite a bit because we were like, okay, fine, everyone is doing the clubs, everyone is doing the classes, but how do we leave like a lasting impression on our university, but also on like our surroundings? So that was just one way we looked at it, and we said, okay, let's just do it. So,
right. Dude, that's amazing. And thanks for sharing that as well. Like
Yeah.
that's like an added bonus right there.
That's pretty admirable, right?
Yeah.
Because coming into first year, I'm sure you boys were like still, just like getting used to university. International students, it can't be easy, right? You're
Oh, yeah.
coming to like a foreign country, like all of us, I think over here, yeah,
Yeah.
all of us are international students,
And from India, all
from
of us.
India
Yeah.
as well.
So
So
yeah.
it's pretty difficult, like trying to figure what you are, who you are, what you stand for, and the fact that you guys have done something in your second year is still a lot earlier than like let's say a lot of people, right?
Mhm.
And you guys hit it ahead of the curve, and I think that's pretty commendable.
Uh, thanks, man. But
No.
we're just getting started.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
100%.
Like yeah, you can see the
Yeah.
drive in his eyes right
Yeah,
now.
it's only
Yeah.
up from here. Like both of y'all have that drive, and that's amazing. So after y'all went through this ideation stage, right? What gave birth to Sense? I'm sure you'll remember the day y'all started Sense. I've seen a post on I think one of your Instagrams where
yeah,
you and him are
Sense,
like you'll have a thumbs up with Sense on the laptop. Yeah, tell
yeah.
us about that, man.
Yeah, we it was the 14th of October, to 2023.
Yeah.
But that was like after a month of ideation, a
100%.
month of brainstorming, a month of looking at practicalities, and then we sort of went ahead with it because we thought we'd approach the CUS for funding, which is the Commerce Undergrad Society at SORDA for
Right.
funding, and that was their application date. So we just assumed that okay, we'll once we put cents on paper on that day, we'll mark it as the birth of the company,
Right.
and that was our sort of final proposal, and it is completely like it was just a piece of paper. Like
yeah.
at that point, we didn't know what we were doing. We just wrote our idea on paper
Mhm.
and we gave it to the CEOs for like a they give funding to
Right.
student initiatives.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we thought that if they like the idea, they will give us funding, and that's where our journey started. At that time, we didn't know how to deal with manufacturing,
Mhm.
how to deal with distribution, how to do client outreach. I mean, if I tell you, both of us were relatively shy as well. Like
Right.
we weren't the most outgoing
Mhm.
people.
Mhm.
Like me for example, like in my first year, I had slight anxieties. I like for me speaking to even two people meant like a big thing.
Right.
So we both came out of like an environment where okay, we had to how do we
Mhm.
reach clients and
Yeah.
stuff like that. How does this happen? So I think 14th October is when we decided okay, we're going ahead with this, and now whatever happens will happen. Like let's see how it goes.
Okay.
We still didn't assume, like we at that point we thought okay, if it doesn't work out in a month, we'll switch ideas, we'll do something else. But it was at that moment we thought that let's give it a shot and let's see what happens. But we were of course very scared.
Right.
In terms of
100%.
that, yeah.
100%.
And you said 14th October 2023.
2023, yeah.
You know what's crazy about that date? 14th October 2022 or 2023 at 2022 is the day I started my YouTube channel as well.
That's
So
that's
yeah, and this is like how the podcast is also like in motion right now. So
I
That's
think it's
amazing.
meant to be.
it's meant to be,
It's
dude.
it's an important date, everyone.
Yeah.
Also, India played Pakistan.
And we won.
And we won.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
So
Yeah.
yeah, dude, that's like a holy date for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, big date. Yeah, the stars are lining up for that day.
Sure.
But-
So yeah, I'm curious. 14th October, and you mentioned right, like before, like you guys are relatively, a bit shy and things like. So how have you guys like come out from that now? Like like of course you guys are like doing outreach to clients, outbounding to people, things like that. So how did that change happen for you guys?
Yeah, I think one thing we wanted was that we, of course, because we were in university, that there are like a lot of resources that we can avail, which we weren't during our first year.
Right.
Like we were part of very few clubs that within our own like group, than not outside of our group. So what we wanted to do was we wanted to push ourselves out more, and even if like we in the sense of sense, what we thought was, even if we don't go ahead with sense after like the initial proposal giving it to
Right.
this sort of committee, we like we'll take part in different clubs. We'll try to like go outside of our comfort zone
Right.
just to like just get that confidence. For
Mhm.
example, like I tried like the campus ambassador program, which is there in Saudi.
Yeah.
You have to just go and give out presentations at different high schools
Oh wow.
to
Okay.
different people. I did that because I wanted to learn more about how I can present myself out there
Mhm.
when I'm giving out speeches in the real world.
Right.
So I mean, it's just a start, but like it would boost my confidence at least a little bit up.
Good. Yeah, that's
Like
amazing.
it's a good start.
Yeah.
No, for sure. Yeah.
So I tried that out, and I was like, at least it'll benefit me some way or the other. He was part of this commerce society as well, and then the election journey. You can
Yeah, I mean, like
talk about that.
one thing. So around January, we thought like I thought both of us thought let's put ourselves out there. Let's do anything we can to speak to students. Let's do step one, like speak to students and
Mhm.
see how we can build our confidence off of that. And just simply like standing in an election for the Commerce Undergrad Society as an ombuds person, which is someone who handles the complaints,
Okay.
meant that I had to speak to close to like 3,000, 4,000 people in a week.
Wow.
And like I had to cold approach people. So it's like I can be rejected, I can get their nose, I can have them walk off to me. But like that's how you learn. So I mean the first time we both did it, we were like, okay, like first five people after I was like, no, like I can't do this. But then eventually when I saw everyone around me doing it, and when I realized that that person who's walked off won't care after 3 seconds is what really taught you that it's like a numbers game.
Yeah.
So you push, and then I think confidence really came when I started posting myself like on short snippets on reels and stuff for my campaign. So I like got rid of that barrier, which was that sort of camera shy barrier,
Mm-hmm. No, for
and
sure.
that really helped. And I think just one thing that helped the both of us was that by God's grace, both of us got a job at Telus
Okay.
as
Door-to-door salesman.
as a door-to-door sales agent. And I say this to everyone I meet, but being a door-to-door sales agent or just doing sales in general in any form or shape is the most important thing for any individual. Like not just a bit.
High ticket sales.
High ticket sales. Like I'm in high ticket sales right now, and
Yeah.
I'm a closer now, so couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
Although I will say door-to-door sales, if you've done door-to-door sales, that means you can master it. Like rejection is nothing for you after that.
Exactly.
And it's the best form of sales you'll ever learn. Better than high ticket, better than any other sales. Door-to-door is
It
the
gives you a
hardest,
good,
but
like,
the best one.
it gives you a good foundation. You know,
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And like
yeah.
then again, like when I say like when we started door to door sales at Telus, I think day one is when we both were at the office, the
Right.
Telus office, and we went for like a run. We call it like we went to the field. We call it the field over there.
Yeah.
So we went there, and I think at the end of day one, so at Telus we started at like 9 a.m. 9:30 we leave for office. By 10:30 we reach office.
Right.
10:30 to 11 we have like a training session. Then post that it's just sales till 9 p.m.
Right.
It's based on you, how much ever you want to do.
Yeah.
But it's till 9 p.m. So I remember day one at 9 p.m. he looked at me and I looked at him, and I mean we just said we can't do this. Like we're not built for this. Is what he said to me. I said to him, and I said, okay, let's do one thing. Let's do it for a week. Let's see, like let's see what happens. What's the worst that can happen? We wasted a week. So I think after that week, we realized that, oh, you can't go to 10 doors and expect a sale. You can't go to 10 clients and expect a sale. It is a numbers game, but it's also a game of you handling that rejection
Yeah.
and treating the next door with equal grace. Like you can't be rejected and use that to,
Mm-hmm.
change your mood and be sulky around the
Oh,
next
yeah.
door. You have to use
Yeah.
that and empower it to push you and make you more graceful for the
Absolutely.
next door. And that once we learned that, then I remember he started closing a lot of sales initially before me, and I was just like, oh, he's doing it. Like I need to catch up to him. And then I started closing sales, and then he's like, okay, now it's a game. Like now we're competing with each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think one thing was that we went to 200 doors in a day, and we used to close 0 to 5
Dude,
customers.
that's amazing. Yeah.
And it's like if you're facing 195 rejections in a day, you know how to handle it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah.
No, absolutely. And like, I'm curious, what are the common objections you guys got? Because I'm in sales as
Yeah.
well, so
It would range from anything, to be honest. People used to shut doors at our faces. Like, you just seeing the Telus logo, and they used to be like, "Oh, I hate Telus, and I'm gonna close the door." I even got people showing me the middle finger also, just out of nowhere. I was just standing outside their house. I didn't even knock, but they came out of the house. They showed me, they went inside, and they should told it that, give it to Telus.
Talk about the death
Oh,
threat.
oh,
Yeah.
oh no.
Like not like an actual death threat,
Mhm.
but like I think the guy like we both of us were like doing
yeah.
door to door sales at like some I'd say sketchy neighborhood.
Sketchy.
Okay, okay.
But like we
Yeah.
thought we thought like let's do it anyways.
Yeah.
And like we have a portal on our Telus app that says that
This is
like if they have Telus products or not. So we saw a house that had Telus products, but they were paying like a very high price. So we thought we'd help them, we'll sell them a few more products and help them reduce their
Yeah,
price.
yeah.
So but like that, like the house was the cornermost house.
Right.
It had a very like eerie sort of vibe to it.
Yeah.
And I think we both just went to the door and we thought like this is an easy sale. Like it seems like an easy sale because he's paying a higher price. We're gonna give him the same things plus more for a lesser price.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what's the worst that can happen? Like he's not gonna say no to that.
Yeah.
And I remember we both opened like I knocked on the door. The guy didn't open, but we heard this like dog barking, but it wasn't like a small dog. Like it was like a massive dog. Like I like in my mind that's a wolf. Like that's not a dog.
Yeah.
So we both are like, okay, let's still wait for someone to come. And then this guy opens the door, and he says, "Where are you from?" And we say, "Tell us." He's like, "I don't want anything to do with you." And we were so eager to close that sale.
Yeah.
So he was trying to close the door on our face, and he did. But then we knocked again. We said, "Just hear us for 1 minute," and we because we were being eager and we were being a bit
Yeah.
pushy in the sale, and he's like, "No, no, no, no!" Like he's like, "Leave my Porsche right now. I am an ex-militant something.
Oh, yeah.
I have X amount of weapons in my house. Nothing will stop me from doing what needs to be done, and I'll call the police on you if things are if it's necessary." And we were just like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
Like
No,
yeah.
that's crazy.
That's
Yeah.
actually insane.
Just after a knock.
Yeah.
So the door-to-door sales has got you guys, push out of your comfort zone and really put you guys out there.
Yeah,
Right.
100%. Because the thing with door-to-door sales was that the number I always had in mind was 80s. Because my first sale used to be when I knocked my 81st door or the 82nd door.
Yeah.
Like before that, it's just luck. I think.
Okay.
After that, it's more of your hard work, and after you've handled a lot of objections. You were mentioning about different type of
Yeah.
objections. So what I mean, the worst you can imagine, I got that. I mean, people. I still remember that Sihan and I, we went to a door. We sat down with the guy for around 5 hours.
Five hours.
That guy alone would have fetched us a sale of a commission of approximately $700-800 each. Each.
Yeah, like he was buying everything.
Everything.
Everything
$800
that
each.
exists in Telus
And,
catalog.
and
Yeah.
we went inside after he told us a no at the door that I'm busy right now, I'm with my family. And after we converted that no to a yes, at least talked to us at the door, and then we talked to him at the door. Then he liked the whole thing, how we pitched it to him, and then he got us inside his house. We sat with him at his dining table for approximately 5 hours, and
Oh, he offered us beer as well.
yeah.
Like he's
he offered us beer. We had to talk to him about.
Did you guys have it?
no,
No,
not on the job.
Not on the job, no.
He was a chill guy.
Yeah.
Dude, but 5 hours for the sale is mad.
Yeah, but then again, $800 each.
Fair enough.
for us.
Fair enough.
That's a
Tell him about the outcome of the sale.
Yeah, so everything was planned out.
Yeah.
We even gave him the written materials and everything, and he was too damn interested. He wanted to change like everything what his family owned, and he had a huge family.
Yeah.
So we had planned. We called our managers. We got him the best deal. We were talking to his family, his kids, and we were talking more about, like he mentioned about the beer. We got into that conversation as well.
Yeah.
Everything was done. We were about to close it off, and then he said no at the very end.
I
He
hate
said
when
no.
they do that.
And when we asked no, he said no. I just can't do it today. and there was no other reason. We had a whole objection handling on this aspect as well.
Yeah.
We kept on asking him different questions
I
to
looped
counter
him.
that question
I
and
looped him.
try to just get something out of him. But he said no, just not today. I can do it tomorrow, but not today. Then we contacted him tomorrow and it didn't go through.
And then he
Ah.
just like he just ghosted
He
us.
just ghosted us.
I hate when clients do that. Like the thing is, right? You spend so much time trying to like close them, and then they just
But to be honest, that was
slap.
good learning experience.
Yeah.
That was a very good learning experience because that taught us like no matter how much we have invested into a client, until the client says a yes, it's not a yes. Because
Exactly.
Until the paper is
yeah,
done,
because in our minds I was planning what to buy with that $800. I was
$800.
planning
No,
that
for
I'd get
sure.
this that because it was a done deal. Like
Yeah.
everything was almost done.
Mhm.
But then in the very end, he just said a no, and that too, a client can say no to any reason.
That's true.
And I think just adding on to that, because you can sit for 5 hours at a sale and not get anything out of it, I think sales is a big gamble as well, because
Right.
usually it's just commission based income, and we come from a position of privilege where like this is just add on income for
Mhm.
us.
Yeah.
But I was working in an office where there were we were working in an office where there were people who were using that money as their day-to-day salary, as their bread and butter.
100%.
So they were literally gambling on their income, on their per month
Right.
wages,
Yeah.
and seeing how well they close clients just because they had to. Like they had no choice but to
But to
close
close
clients.
them. Yeah.
So like it motivated me a lot that
Mhm.
if if you're thrown against the wall and that's the only thing you have to do,
Oh yeah.
you'll end up doing it
You'd
anyways.
have to make it happen.
Like
Yeah.
because we used to be like, oh, 8:30, it's getting dark, it's getting a bit cool, and this is after spending walking with a backpack in the heat with an iPad, and like not being hydrated, not having you don't have a washroom to go to, you can't just ask a client, can I go to your
Get it.
washroom? Yeah, cents.
Cents.
We carried 2 cents bottles each day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
the advertisement.
So at 8:30, both of us used to be like, let's go home, because we used to be prospecting or going out for client outreach in Surrey, Delta,
Wow.
Richmond, Langley. Like
So like
Newton.
all the far places, not
Yeah.
Vancouver City.
So
City.
if Vancouver's here, Surrey's here, Newton is there.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay,
like,
sorry, okay.
yeah. So it's,
We live here.
Yeah, we live on like the
see,
west.
so I mean, to
west
give you
end.
context,
Context.
Yeah.
if the Surrey Central Station, Newton is 56 or 57 minutes away from that
Right.
by bus. So we used to go that far because that's where you got the most clients. Like that's like a
That's
gold
where the
mine.
houses are. Yeah.
But
yeah.
at times even we used to go there and no sales. And 8:30 I used to be like, let's go. But the people who had to get a sale done for their bread and butter, some pushed till 11 p.m. I
Wait.
remember we had a group where the sales used to be posted.
Mhm.
This guy posted at 11:35 or something, and our whole group was like, that's insane.
Yeah.
Because
Like-
he has to be in the office the next morning again, like,
Yeah.
and he's still doing it. So it's like that really inspired me to say, oh, if he can do it, like, what stops me from
Mhm.
saying at 8:30, oh, I need to go home? Like,
No, for sure. I couldn't agree more. Like some of the people I've seen door to door, like from Dallas, they push crazy, especially like people who have to make it happen. Like it's
Yeah.
nuts. Like you just see like a different version of someone when they have their back against the wall. So
But like apart from the negative aspect of the sales,
It's good,
there are a
it's
lot of
good.
positives as well.
Yeah.
Like in terms of because I remember that I got like I used to people used to offer me food during when I used to go for sale.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they used to offer me, and they were so kind as well.
Mhm.
And I remember some of them were also quite interested in my startup, and or they have already
Yeah.
accomplished a lot in their lives. So they used to like just give me some advice like how to go about things,
Oh yeah.
and like yeah, they'll check it out. And it was a good push because if a third person validates your idea,
Absolutely.
that like pushes your confidence quite high.
Absolutely.
So I mean, during the whole terrace like our cycle, the sales aspect was like a quite confidence booster as well.
Wow.
That's nice. And actually, now that you mention it, what was the best piece of advice you guys got for sense throughout your whole journey, with from the startup phase to now, like wherever you'll reach now? That could be through a client that you'll met through Telus, or maybe a client that you'll met through Sense. But and you both can have different ideas as to what you believe is the best advice, and you believe. But yeah, tell us, please.
I think the best advice we got through experience and just in general from people was that you are going to get rejected. You'll get rejected 15 times, 20 times a day, but use that as a as a catalyst for success. And that boils down to what we've been saying about the sales part as well.
Absolutely.
But I think that is some of the best advice we've got, that use failure as a catalyst for success. So, yeah.
No, for sure.
And adding on to that, like since you mentioned, because the advice part, we talked to like a lot of mentors during our initial stages.
Okay.
Like as I mentioned, we started this idea on October 14th.
Right.
From October 14th till like November end and December first week, like till the time before our finals week, we talked to like crazy amount of mentors. Like he used to go out on coffee chats, I used to go out on coffee chats. We both used to go out on coffee chats just to talk to them
Right.
about our idea and like just gain any advice, any tips. And one thing that I also got was that in fear of rejection, that don't worry, like I remember one of the mentors like told me this, that don't worry, if you fail, like you learn, and if you succeed, you'll inspire.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like
That's fair.
Absolutely.
this was one of the things that I got from like a crazy mentor. Like we had a whole Huron, I remember.
No.
So he was one of our first mentors, and he's doing crazy in the entrepreneur world, and like he's made a name of him outside as well.
Yeah.
Right.
So he told us something like this, that this you should keep in mind. And also the second thing was that execution. He said, because on piece idea, on paper idea, almost every other
Every
guy
person
has.
has.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah,
literally.
Dude.
He told me, who doesn't want to become a startup founder?
Yeah.
In this world, who doesn't want to have their own business? But
True.
execution is the number one thing that you should like, keep
Absolutely.
in mind when you are going out there.
It's like action alleviates anxiety, basically.
Yes.
And
Yes.
can you just tell me the power of mentors? Because I've said this on previous multiple podcasts. The power of mentors is unmatched. So, what's your experience
I
with
think
that?
just one
Both
thing
of yours.
adding on to the previous thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Am I allowed to like curse on this podcast?
Yeah, go for it, go for it.
Yeah. So one of our mentors, I remember we both were sitting in like we were sitting together. We gave him our idea, and he is like, I don't like it. Like he said, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't think you'll succeed. Like these were his words to us. Like he said, I don't think you'll succeed. And we're like, why? And he's like, what have you done till now? And I said, do you mean traction? And he said, no. I said, have you done your market research? Have you done this? Have you looked at if this is a necessity or not? Have you asked people? Have you done
Right.
user feedback? You've done none of that. So if you've done none of that, how do you know that how are you so confident in your product unless you've done none of that? And then he made a graph, and it basically said, the more you fuck around, the more you find out.
Oh my.
So
Dude, that
So
is.
I'm the biggest advocate for this. Bro,
Same.
ask any of my friends, and this usually applies to like, a lot of my older life. But
Right.
like, when I used to go out like with the boys, I used to be like, guys, the more we fuck around tonight, the more we find out.
Yeah.
And when you said that, I was like, I agree 100%. Be that in any area of your life, right? Like, you need to get your hands dirty to find out whether your idea is going to work or not. Like,
Absolutely.
and I agree with your mentors, right? Like,
Yeah.
everyone has an idea.
Mhm.
Like, bro, I have like a billion ideas a day.
Oh, yeah.
But the fact is, am I executing it or not? Like, what's stopping someone from executing it? And the fact that the both of y'all did execute it, y'all were able to like handle rejections from not only clients but mentors, people you all look up to. That can be crushing, but self belief does go a long way, right? And I mean, you guys fucked around and now you're finding out, and you're reaping the benefits as well. So that I think that's amazing. Like I agree with that 100%.
And like after that we said, okay, he's put it like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So then we started thinking, okay, let's learn sales.
Yeah.
If we can't do it on our own,
Yeah.
let's learn sales.
100%.
Let's put ourselves out there. Let's learn how to handle manufacturing, how to handle distribution. We understood that our business model is not one wing, it is three different wings. It's
Right.
manufacturing, it's sales, it's distribution. It's three different things.
Okay.
Then we started dividing work, and then we're like, okay, this you do today, this I'll do today. We kept switching around because
That is.
there's no specific division in our startup. Like he's good at both things, I'm good at both things. We just keep switching based on like availability and stuff like
100%.
that. And I think one thing with sales, once we did the teles sales, and when we shifted to business sales, so when we started doing walk-ins to businesses for cents,
Yes.
we realized it's 15 times more tougher because A, Telus is a credible brand.
Yes.
B, we are selling an idea that no one has heard without any credibility.
Right.
And sales with no credibility is like a bit of a chicken and the egg situation.
Oh yeah.
So you need credibility to get to close sales, but you
Absolutely.
needs you
Sales.
need sales to get credibility. So it's so confusing, and just fighting through that process was such a big deal
Mhm.
that I remember. Um, this is just this week. Um, we had a client on board, and this I remember telling you on the way here
Yeah, tell me,
that
tell me.
there was this crazy story from this week itself.
Okay.
There's this client we've been in contact for about a month, okay? And it isn't just, I'm not going to name the client,
Yeah,
but
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's not a small client. It's a big client like that. It's a corporate client. It's a corporate brand, and they have about 10-15 stores just around UBC and Vancouver, like just this part before downtown. Just
Okay.
so it's like a big brand. It's a restaurant,
Okay.
Right.
and they had said yes, like a verbal yes to me
Yes.
for the deal, and we were like so happy because that would be the first corporate client that we've closed
Yes.
without credibility, and we were just like, wow, we've done this. And he had said, okay, like, come to my office, we'll design the label for your bottles, we'll decide on quantity, this, that, whatever. And then uh, when I said, okay, let's decide on pricing, he had misinterpreted my pricing which I had sent to him like 2 weeks back only, but he misinterpreted it.
Okay.
So he lashed out on me. Like he went like, "Oh, I can't, like you can't play with me. You can't try and fool me. I know what you're trying to do." So he assumed that I had tried to increase his price, but and he said, "I don't do business with people who I can't trust." And it was like a whole, we both got bashed essentially. And because we will not say anything against the client,
Yes.
Of
because
course. Yeah.
that's the policy you follow. No matter how bad your emotions, your ego is hurt, you don't say anything to the client, because
Absolutely.
client is god for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to say, you have to agree with the client, you have to understand their point of view, albeit that point of view might be really tough to understand, and the guy might be someone who's really tough to handle. But then eventually the guy said, no, like, don't talk to me, I don't want to talk to you, I don't want to do business with you. And the deal fell out, and I remember telling him, and he's just like, shit, man, like. And I was like, fuck, like this was something, this was something that was like, I needed, like, we were like, I kept telling myself that, you know, I deserve it. I deserve this sale. I've reached out to 600, 700 businesses this month, and it was a corporate client. I deserve this sale. Why didn't I close this sale? And I was being harsh on myself, but then I understood that, like, the game's the game. You can't, don't hate the player, hate the game. Like, this is how the game is, so you can't help it.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy, and the fact that he mentioned that, like, like this, I don't know. You like so far on this podcast already, you guys have like, like I think I do hard work, but then you guys are telling me your story. I'm like, oh my god, like, wow, this is absolutely crazy, and kudos to you guys for that.
Oh, yeah, thank you, thank you.
And so like, it's like what they say, right? Just before like you hit the ice, like just before you like go over the scale, there's like only one like tiny problem that arises. So you guys are just there, and I'm sure like the next no, no, for sure. Have a feeling about this,
It'll happen. Yeah.
happen.
It's just a matter of time, right? Like,
Yeah.
you guys aren't the kinds to stop. You guys aren't the kinds to, like, uh get demoralized just because of a rejection. And I think that's all this was, right? And this take this as a learning. You took it on the chin.
Dude, like look at the fire in the eyes. Like holy shit, dude.
Yeah, even for the fire.
Like I need
In the podcast, you see the fire. But
I need the fire extinguisher. dude.
yeah, but that's insane. And you guys will, because I mean, I'm sure you'll learn something from this as
Mhm.
well, right? Because a big client, I'm assuming this was like one of the first times you're talking to a company that's this massive. You said 15 locations just before UBC. I'm assuming they're massive.
Yeah.
And it's fine. A misunderstanding arises, it arises. Like,
Dude, a better one comes. A better client comes along.
yeah, 100%, man.
I wish I could say the name of the client, and you guys would have been like, oh my god, like, there's no way. But like, I just can't.
That was a reaction.
Yeah, like when the client approached us after our initial sales meeting, and he said, okay, I'm down for a sales meeting, I'm down to hear your pitch, we were just like,
No way.
what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
It
we've
is.
done
It
that.
is. Yeah.
But then I think when you say you're talking about learnings, one thing we learned from this is that
Mhm.
because it was a bigger client, I was slightly more nervous, I'd say, while pitching pricing, while handling the situation. And once you show to your opponent or whatever that you are not equals, or when you show that you're not,
Right.
you're a bit nervous,
Yeah.
they tend to get skeptical. They tend to
Yeah.
think like, oh, this guy isn't legit. This
Right.
guy's, he's not sure himself.
Yeah.
So how do I trust him? And I think that's where we
I
fell.
couldn't agree
Yeah,
more.
that's where we
Like,
fell through.
because sales is a transfer certainty essentially. If pitching it or not, like it's transfer certainty. Like
Yeah.
my product will help you use reason Y, X, Y, Z. For all of this, it's just
Yeah,
8K,
yeah,
9K.
exactly.
Boom.
Yeah,
Like,
so yeah, going back to the part where you mentioned about the advice as well.
Yeah.
One thing I think which was very important for, which was very important for us as well. Not the advice, but when people doubted us a lot as well. Because in the start, the story was telling
Come on.
that the guy told us about the graph and like so many things that you don't know. Then what he told us essentially was that I don't think so that you guys can get this off paper.
Right.
And even if you do, I mean, I just see it being $1 million idea and not $1 billion idea. We were in solid, and then both of us had this chat with him, and he told us that I highly doubt that you guys can execute it off. And then we both just turned around, and both of us just said at the same time that we want to prove him wrong. I think that is just that feeling.
My guy.
I'll tap your laugh with the poker. It's a bit far away.
It's okay, it's okay. But I think just the feeling of like proving the other person wrong as well, it just boosted us because we were going towards the low as well. But I think that boosted us a lot. And then learnings also came from because once we started distributing it in and around Solid, I remember people just started to come up and say that, oh, you're from Sense.
Yeah.
And I remember he was telling that he was part of UBC Spark or as a jumpstart leader.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
one of his like people who were in his group, they had this bottle having. I mean, they were having.
Yeah, it was
That
such
must
a-
have been a nice.
Yeah,
That must have been a nice
exactly.
moment. Yeah. It's fire. Like the idea is amazing, and I know Indian Arms have been a big client for
Yeah.
you guys for a very long time, right? Because you've also spoken about it. But talking about clients now,
How do you land them?
no,
Like-
I was just gonna ask. I mean, sure,
Like,
that.
yeah, what's the
But
process of
also,
landing them outbound?
who was the first client that you landed, and how did that go?
Yeah.
Well,
So yeah. So I'll answer him first.
yes, yeah, go.
Or I'll answer the first landing curve
Right.
client first,
Yeah.
and then I'll go towards how we
Absolutely.
landed
Okay.
now. So initially, what we did was we were told by I mean we tried talking to different clients, talking to different brands in
Right.
and around UBC,
Mhm.
but that approach didn't work for us quite well because we hadn't even kicked off that time. And what we were told was that contact your knowns, like contact people you know, contact people whom you know and can get you a sale, can like connect you with someone whom they know. So we connected with UBC startups. They had their SOAR startup pitch competition where they required water bottles.
Okay.
So we partnered up with them. We gave them our first water bottle batch, which was essentially a pilot test as well.
Okay.
So we got a response from that, and then afterwards we contacted UBC Utsav,
Mhm.
which had like one of the largest events, Holi,
Mhm.
where they have like around 5,000 people. So we gave them around 5,500 water bottles over there as well.
Okay.
And at that time, we understood that us approaching clients through our like just our limited network is not the right way to go about things,
Mhm.
and like we need. And at that point, we also realized that we had to like revamp our model because you got to keep on changing
Okay.
your
Yeah.
business model as well.
Yeah.
You can't just stay constant
Absolutely.
throughout. So that was the moment where we realized the errors from our pilot test. We incorporated, we removed those errors, we mitigated them, and then we incorporated new like strategies into our whole idea.
Mhm.
And then what we did was after Telus, like this was during the month of March and April,
Mhm.
and then after Telus, we realized that we have to go on and talk to people now since we know sales. We
Right.
can just go on to like we go to Kids Salon. We have a huge box like. We have a huge box demonstrating our products. Like we
Absolutely.
have the bottles displayed on that box.
Mhm.
So we just take that box, both of us, just go to Kids Solano, just go to different stores in Kids Solano, West Broadway, near UBC side, and just contact them and we just talk to them, just pitch it to them like how we do in Dallas, and then we just try and land a client like that now. Initial days we used to try and land from a network,
Yeah.
but now I think we like build that credibility and that skill set as well
Yes.
Right.
from Telus.
Right.
That now we can like go on and pitch it to like clients in like West Broadway, Kitsilano, like any brand. We
Okay.
like try and go and just pitch it to them, meet their managers, talk to their managers, schedule a sales meeting.
Mhm.
Is our like our goal when we walk into a store, like scheduling a sales meeting and then getting a client, like finalizing a client. So this is how we approach things now.
Wow.
So you're essentially doing door-to-door sales with your
With
brand
the
for
bottle,
now,
yeah.
in kids is what you're saying.
But it's a whole different ball game because
Mhm.
You closing a client for a normal product like a consumer product is a short time span.
Right.
Here, when I go to a business, finding the manager is the toughest task in the world.
Yeah.
But if you find the manager and you're lucky that in 10 stores I found the manager in one and he likes your idea, that means you're even more lucky. Then that's where the process starts. Then you go to step two, which is sitting in a separate meeting. At times, the guy says, I'm busy for 2 weeks, I'm busy for 3 weeks. Come this time. I don't want marketing right now. Come this time. So then your time, then you have to monitor that. Then you have to track that, and you have to set a timeline. Okay, I have to go to this guy after 3 weeks, but I have to go to that guy after like 2 more weeks. So it's like it's a whole different thing to
Right.
plan your thing.
Organizing everything.
So-
And then post your second thing. There's a high chance he'll listen to everything you said in the first meeting because he's forgotten about the first meeting, and he'll just be like, I like the idea. Let me think about it. So how do you approach that? Like, do you approach him again in a week, or does that seem too pushy?
No.
But you need to assess situation to situation.
Absolutely.
If you feel like the guy's interested, then you can be a bit pushy. But if he's on the fence and you be pushy, that might lead him to think that, oh, they're being too much. That there's something wrong with this. They don't. Why are they so like? Why is their emphasis on me itself? Like if you're a big sales agency, you won't just focus on one company.
Absolutely.
So that's how they start thinking. Then that might fall out. So just finding that balance is a huge process, and I think the time to close a client is close to a month for us now, and we're working on that. Like it's a tough thing, but I feel like once we close a client in a month, we're like, okay, fine. This is the best we could have done for now, but that doesn't mean in the future we're gonna keep this a month. We're gonna
No, for
try.
sure. Like I like one common thing I'm seeing between what you do and I do for like dotted on high
Yeah,
ticket,
yeah.
right? So we have appointment setters.
Mm.
The appointment setters basically, see the person's financially qualified, interested, things like that. Then they book a call with the closer. And then the closer call is typically like 48 hours right after the appointment setting call is done.
Yeah.
So in between that time span, they send like a bunch of resources and things like,
yeah.
get well affiliated with our brand, use we do XYZ, use our,
Yeah.
basically credibility
Yeah, yeah.
at that point. So yeah, why don't you guys? I'm curious. Like, do you guys do that or?
Yeah. We in the time frame of meeting one and meeting two, we send a marketing guide, which is essentially a package detailed with our business, with our traction, with what we do, our vision, our mission, everything.
Okay.
We send pricing as well, like in a proper chart of our pricing options, and we send an email with like sort of how to reach out to us again, scheduling and stuff like that. But essentially we do that every few weeks. And also what we do is that if there's a client who wants a specific opportunity, like he says, talk to me the next time you're distributing bottles outside a concert venue or something like that. So we send out the details of upcoming concerts just to give them a sense of urgency as well.
Okay.
And a sense of that, oh, we are distributing bottles at this venue for various other clients. If you want to hop on, come on. And then the client might be like, oh, I'm missing out. Like I need this. So that is one
absolutely.
thing. And I think just boiling down to what we said before about our first sale and how you should use your resources. I'd say one more thing, which is an advice I got, was that take advantage of your advantage. And what that essentially means is that each one of us has an advantage in terms of resources, in terms of connections,
Yeah.
but we just don't take advantage of, like, we just sit on them. We just like don't
so?
think to, approach them. And we always have this thing like, oh, if I approach this person, we might spoil the relationship. But I think one way to look at it is that if you have a resource, if you have a connection, take advantage of that, because there are people who have nothing to lose, who have nothing, and they still push through further just because they build those connections.
Absolutely.
So if I have a connection through which I can get a potential client, why not approach the guy? Why not approach the person and be like, oh, can you connect me to so and so? If it's fine to you. And if that guy doesn't want to connect to you, he'll say no, or he might just not open your message. But if you have a connection, take advantage of that. And if you have resources, we have Sorder, one of the most um, acclaimed business schools in Canada. There's a network of professionals here. Why not take advantage of that? Everyone's willing to help when they see that, oh, these guys seem legit with their vision at least. maybe not credibility, but they seem legit with their vision and their drive for success.
Yes.
So fair enough. Like if that's enough to sell to them, then we do it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Nothing
So-
to lose, a lot to gain. Like,
Exactly.
I love that. Yeah.
So I'm curious, guys. Now, like, tell me about these bottles. Like, what's is it going to be like this design, or like what's going to be like? Is it going to be an upgraded version or like limited edition, like you mentioned?
yeah.
What's the next plan?
So our next plan is essentially going from like water bottles to like different commodities as well. Different,
This
like,
is a water bottle, by the way.
It's a fire water bottle.
Yeah.
Thank
Very-
you, man. Thank you.
The water
so-
tastes better. Trust me.
Makes sense. So what we intend to do is essentially we want to like move out of the continue our water bottle game as well,
Right.
and then bring in some other commodities into this, because essentially any packaged good we can put advertisements on top of it, and then like we are already in works with like different commodities right now, and we plan to launch them later in the year.
Okay.
Coming next year,
Right.
and then in the future, like it's just in the works, like just having some sort of, because these bottles are very limited in number. Like for example, Utsav bottles, there are 5,000 in number.
Yeah.
The startup UVC startup bottle, which was a pilot test, was essentially around how many bottles was it? 250.
Okay.
250 bottles. So it is like a 1 out of 250. Collected bottles which you
Right.
can get in the future, because what we tend to do is that if you take this bottle, you get a 15% off at Indian Oven.
Yes.
So like something like this in the near future bottles as well.
Mhm.
Like if you scan this QR code, you'll be given an access to this network of people. Whoever is advertising can give
Yeah.
you something very cool as a return.
Yeah.
So maybe like just having them as like some sort of collectible, like it's in the like long run,
Right.
Yes.
but like
yes.
just making this brand turn it to something like that.
So, like for example, here's a Prime bottle.
Yeah.
Like this is not a sponsor. Freaking shout out. We gotta pay us for that. So, this is a Prime bottle, right? So they have like limited edition, like
Yeah,
like
yeah,
creators
yeah,
and
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
So would you guys be doing like something down
Yeah,
that
I
road?
think Prime was our biggest inspiration. We both are
Right.
massive Sidemen fans
Oh,
and
same. Yeah, yeah.
stuff like that. So
Yeah.
like both of us have a Prime collection in our room sitting somewhere. with
Okay.
the limited
Just the bottles.
Yeah, the limited edition
Everyone's
ones.
doing that.
So
these
seeing
days.
You've seen mine as well, right? In the video. I
Yeah,
showed?
you
Yeah.
have a bit of a
Yeah.
collection going on.
Yeah.
So it's like we thought that okay, why not for like some of the cooler clients, some of the, let's say if you're doing for a concert venue or something like that,
Yes.
we have a label on each bottle saying 1 of 250 or something
Yes,
like that.
yes.
Wow.
And that's what he was telling about, that we can do that, and maybe that sense of hype around this being a limited edition
Yes.
might help build like a long lasting thing with the bottle. So right now most of the people dispose of our bottles. We're trying to make them keep the bottles for longer is
Yeah,
our main goal.
Absolutely.
I agree. The 1 of 250 thing, how many
Yeah.
we all do,
So
right?
bad.
It's I think playing with people's problem with
Yeah,
FOMO.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
as soon
Yeah.
as people
That's
know
it,
that they're
yeah.
missing out, they'll be like, shit, I need to get one of these just so that I'm a part of this community.
Like memorabilia, something.
Memorabilia,
Like,
yeah.
But like for that we need to work on our bottle structure, our design. Like it's pretty solid.
So
Yes.
It's pretty solid, but like in terms of durability and stuff, I think Prime is doing better than us right now.
Also, they
No, for
have
sure.
they have the funding for
Yeah,
it.
the
like I'm
funding and
curious
the-
though,
yeah.
right? Like
Team as
this is a smooth
yeah,
feel
yeah.
to it, right? But then the Prime bottle's got like bumpy, like
Bumpy,
waves,
yeah.
something. So would you guys do like something like that?
I
Or-
think they've done bumpy because it's tough to change the shape of that bottle. It's
right.
It's tough to crush it.
tough to
Yeah.
crush it means that
Yes.
it'll last longer as a bottle you
Yes.
can reuse again and again.
Hard to crush. Don't crush it, guys.
But
That's
yes.
right.
But yeah, and like just when you said that what will we do in the future, what's our next step? I think we, as he said, we're expanding into new products. We're looking to do free tote bags
Okay.
as something, and like free commodities, so free t-shirts, free tote bags, free packets of Pringle style chips.
Oh wow. Okay.
So like same thing as this, but just on a Pringle
On a
style
Pringles can,
box,
yeah.
you put advertisements on them. But again, since water is the cheapest commodity, it's easier to sell. But once you go slightly higher, it's tougher to sell. So we're still trying to figure out the logistics of that.
Right.
But it's something we plan on doing in the future for sure.
Absolutely. And everyone wants water as well. Like,
Yeah, no,
Everyone-
absolutely.
everyone
Like
needs
shout out Africa and everything, but like everyone wants water. So
Yeah, that was crazy. But yeah, the fact that you're now planning on expanding as well. So when we talk about what's next for Sense, you said tote bags and different commodities, right? How did you all go about reaching to a point where you're like, okay, I think we've hit a point in our business where we need to expand now so that we can grow? Because I think it's like diminishing returns, right? So once you hit a point, you can see that okay, you'll have like plateaued and you'll need to diversify your portfolio to grow.
Mhm.
What was that point for you guys?
I think cause we're in a university, like balancing out the startup aspect and the university aspect,
Yes.
we always, whenever we divide time for a startup side, we always have room to grow only.
Yes.
Okay.
Because for us to reach a point where we have reached that point where
Mhm.
it's like reached its maximum capacity,
Yes.
I think that is not like feasible for us right now because we have to balance our studies as well because that's what our parents have sent us
Right, no, for sure.
over here. Like we gotta respect that as well.
Shout
Yeah.
out
So
parents.
yeah, exactly.
I've got a question about that though, because I have a hard time like sometimes I just skip class because I'm on call or closing clients or something. How do you guys like balance that time? Like, what's the time structure looking like for you guys?
Google Calendar.
Yeah, same. Like,
Run
Same
on your
here.
like
GCal, yeah,
Shout out to
like
yeah,
Google
like
Calendar.
we were like talking about that the other day, Shrishtan, and like we were like, okay, we'll meet at this time. We both send each other like a Google invite.
calendar, like
Just to like hang out as well. Not even
we're
like
sending, yeah, yeah, I'm sending my friend GCal invites to for just like hangout
like
plannings and all that, and they're getting
like
mad at me, and I'm like, guys, like
they,
it's the only time I get.
like if you ask my roommate right now,
Yeah.
he's probably in his room, but like for dinner, right? I send him like everyone like these Google invites,
Google Invites.
like there you go,
Yeah.
dinner,
Crazy.
and I send them like the
I think one crazy thing is my best friend, like our best friend, he said it's been like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I haven't seen your face. Let's go out for dinner. And I said, when are you free? He said, whenever you're free. So I said, what are you doing on next Wednesday at 8 p.m.? And he's like, what the fuck? Like, what is wrong with you?
He's like, you scheduling
You're scheduling time for me. And I was like, I'm sorry, like we're packed for now. And then, but then like one thing that really helps us is that we have very supportive friends.
that's good.
So one thing we've learned in this journey is that you will have to sacrifice time
Hmm.
from maybe your friends, from your classes, from everything. But you have to learn to give up something if you want something worthwhile. And if you don't give up that something, that means you're not doing something worthwhile.
You're not all in.
Yeah, you're not all in,
Yeah.
and what you're doing isn't worthwhile in the first place itself. So I think just having friends who understand that, okay, they're doing what they're doing, let them do what they do, and they'll give us time.
Yes.
They are very understanding people, has helped us quite a bit.
Yes.
And it's like at the end of the day, the people that care for you and the people that genuinely want to see you succeed from inside will stay regardless of
Exactly.
anything.
I
And the ones that don't, they won't. It's just that.
it's
It's a
life.
win-win.
No,
It's a
it's life.
win-win.
I agree, and
Yeah.
I think having that support structure, right? And
Yeah,
that's what
yeah,
your friends in
yeah.
college are like. We're
Yeah.
all boys here. Like
Yeah.
having that support system, surrounding yourself with people who aspire to be not only you know the best version of themselves, but they want to bring you up with them. And those are people that don't need to be necessarily involved in your life every day. They could just be your friends supporting you quietly, your family supporting you
Mhm.
from afar, whatever that may be. And just knowing that you have that emotional backing, you have people in your corner is important. And I couldn't agree more. Like friends in university, especially like I keep saying this, international students, like they're all
Yeah.
we have here, right? Because we can't just fly home on a whim because
Mhm.
home's like what 20 hours away. It's
Yeah.
not easy.
It's like 2 flights for me at
Yeah.
least.
Two flights exactly.
14-hour
So
flight.
Yeah.
that having that support structure is very very important, and I think they believe in us. And then everyone who doesn't, they're saying it's delusion, but it's only delusional till it's not. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
No, for sure. And like one thing I want to ask you guys,
Yeah.
because taking a startup, even the podcast, like I have like crazy self belief. So what does that self belief look like for you guys? Like how do you guys, like it's hard to like ask someone how do you believe in yourself when you have nothing to show for it. Like initially, I don't have anything to show for myself with the podcast yet.
Yes.
Yet.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yeah.
But like how do you guys push through even times of adversity? Like how do you guys push through every single time?
I think that's where like his role also matters a lot to me, and like cause whenever like I get that sense of feeling, he's always there to push me up and like
Right.
just be like we have done so much so far, and just give me that sense of belief that yeah, we can do this. We have to push us outside of our comfort zone.
Right.
Like what? Because what? Like answering your previous question as well, along with this question. So what we do is we basically we sit during the first day of the month, and we make the whole calendar for that month, like the whole thing, like or maybe like the next 15 to 20 days. We sit it together. We like time our calendars together so that as much as time we can give to each other, we give. Because there are times where he feels a bit low about this whole thing, where I feel a bit low, but then we push each other more. Like we tell that this is something that we have built so far. We show credibility to each other, and then secondly, I think sense of validation, which comes from like third party people. Like for example, because just random people coming up to us and saying that oh, I've seen your bottle, oh, you're from Sense, oh, and I'm just getting that sense of validation. And you never know when you get that sense of
Right.
validation, because we didn't think we'd get a sense of validation when we got it.
Right.
Because when we initially got it, I never expected someone to come up and say that, oh, I'm carrying your bottle. Oh, I've seen you before. I never did, because I thought that we have like there's a long way for us to go to reach that point. But once you reach that point, you don't realize that
Absolutely.
yeah, you've done so much, and I mean so many
Absolutely.
people are there to look out.
But one thing I'd like to say is just based on this conversation, I'd want to ask you guys first, what is your biggest motivator? Like I just want to ask you,
You go ahead first.
and I'll tell you why I'm asking.
Right, right, right.
Is this like the same question you like the conversation that we were having a week?
Yeah,
Is it
but like
something
just
similar or
I just want a word for it because I'm leading on to something.
okay, okay. Honestly, okay, if it wasn't like something like I just want to make myself proud. I want to make the people that I love
Yeah,
proud,
yeah.
and I want to make it in this world on my own. Like I
Yeah,
want to show
yeah.
people that like I'm here to stay and that I'm capable of doing anything that I put my mind to. That's essentially my biggest motivator for myself, like internally. But if we had to talk about something that like I look forward to, that my drive should bring me, it's I would say money for me is fairly important, 100%.
Yeah.
And yeah, for me, like he said, right, like putting myself in a position where I have to, like, I want to make it. It's more like like an unfinished story, which like
Yeah,
I really want
yeah.
to get it done
Yeah,
with, and like chapter one's done,
yeah.
now chapter two,
Yeah,
boom, boom,
yeah,
boom. Until I finish one freaking
yeah,
book,
yeah.
which is life
Yeah, yeah,
essentially. That's like a big motivator for me, and like just really doing being my own boss
yeah.
is like a
Yeah, no,
a
fair
big
enough.
Yes.
big thing for me.
I think why I was boiling like getting to this
Right.
was that you asked me how do we push through moments of doubt and how do we instill self belief, and I think one thing that works, like we're men, we're boys,
Yeah.
and the biggest motivator for boys according to me is shame. And why I say this to you is when he has moments of slacking off, when I have moments of slacking off, we genuinely use shame as a motivator to get work done. Like I said, I call him and I say, "What happened to you being like, oh, we're gonna do this? Like, where is your progress?" I don't say any progress, and like I call him out for that. I said it very politely
Yeah.
on right now, but like
Yeah.
when I call him out, it's not really. This is not-
It's just boy being boy.
So
Look at the fear in his eyes right now.
so that's what I do. Like for guys, the biggest motivator is shame, and I think we both of us use fear of failure as a big push as well.
Right.
And I think fear of failure is a good thing and a bad thing. You have to be comfortable with failing, but the fear of failing in the long run with your whole idea pushes you in the sense that the shame and the fear and all those negative emotions push you, and I don't know if that's healthy or not, but I feel like
It
that
does
is
what it
one
does,
way to
yeah.
push yourself, that is one way to get the work
Absolutely.
done, and that is something that has helped us quite a bit.
No, for sure. And like you guys are even keeping each other accountable. It's like
That's very
like
important.
get your ass up and do this right now. Like not like that maybe, but like like
No,
like that, like that.
it's
That's a
unhinged.
polite way of saying
That's a
it.
polite way of
That's a
saying
polite-
it. Because we both are unhinged. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the club here then.
and adding on to what he said about the fear of failure and not meeting expectations and the shame. So the thing is that we have pictured a portrait of us outside for the outside world that senses this, and like we are portraying us to be at a level that we are yet to reach, and just to like live up to that picture, is also
Right.
something that we want
I
to.
couldn't agree more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
like
that is also something that motivates us a lot.
absolutely.
Because we have to keep on pushing. Because we see that there are different startups in solid
Yeah.
now, especially that we gotta keep up as well. Because personally, I'm also a bit competitive, so I want us to be on top of our
Mhm.
game.
100%.
So I mean, just taking inspiration from those startups itself, that just looking at them like they were where they were before Sense, and now they've gone like they've reached our stage as well, and in a short amount of time than compared to us. So it just motivates us more.
No, for sure.
One more thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like
Please.
in terms of when it just comes to motivation, I think one thing which like my parents have helped me, like shout out to mama papa, but like they like I remember whenever I used to tell them something small, like for okay for me as university students, we I'm gonna say this on camera, I'm very ashamed that I at times get up at like 12 1, and I work till 4 a.m. That's not the issue, but I get up at 12 1, and then I started reading books, I started looking at podcasts, and I understood that you just have to get up early to to be successful. So I got up at 8 for like a week in a row, and I tell my mom, I'm like, Mama, I got up at 8 o'clock
Yeah.
today. Like, are you proud of me? And she's like, so
8 is late.
8 is late, like 8 is late. She's like, the you want to be a CEO of, you look at all the top CEOs in the world, they get up at 4 5. What are you doing at 8? Okay, fine, you're getting up as the average mediocre office goer of 9 to 5, who gets up at 7:30, by the way, not even 8.
Yeah.
So it's like my parents motivate me in that sense, and they're like, I mean, you're not wrong. They're not wrong. And I might be
Absolutely.
irritated in that moment. And I'm just like, but she's not wrong. So that motivation helps me a lot. And every time my dad, and I think even his dad, congratulates us for our success, he always adds a point of feedback
Yes.
or something like he'll say,
Always.
good job, but you could have done this better. And I initially used to be like, can't you just appreciate
Yeah,
me?
100%.
But then now in the long run, I'm just like though that is such a good way to look at it. Like he's genuinely saying, I want you to do well.
Yes.
Like because of this mindset that my parents have told me, for me, scoring like the 80s and the 90s in my classes is the bare minimum. Like that is the standard. Like you just that so you have to do. You just have to do that. And beyond that, what you do is the success. And also for me, if I get like a good score on a test or something,
Yeah.
and I tell my parents, they'll just be like, okay, good job, like good
That's
job.
what we've sent you for.
Yeah, that's the
The
purpose.
bare minimum.
Yeah. Then I mean they won't like, they'll be like happy for me.
Obviously, yes.
But then they'll be like, good job, and then they'll be like, okay, now what are you doing next? What are you studying for next?
Mhm.
What are you doing in your startup next? So it'll always push me to do more. So instead of celebrating a week or 10 day off after my exam, or both of us, we're just like, fine, we'll take a day off. And that also many of the top people don't do, but
Yes.
we'll take a day off, and after that we'll be like, okay, now what's next? Because I think just having that parent mentality to help you throughout
Absolutely.
has
like-
helped me. So that's why I said shout out to my
No, for
parents.
sure. Like shout out to his parents.
Yeah.
Both all our parents. All our
Yeah.
parents, yeah.
Yeah.
So like two things I'll say. Like number one, I would say like most for all like I can say for four of us at least, like parents are a motivator as well.
Absolutely, bro.
Like to see my mom and dad proud, like that's like
That's the
That's-
be all, like
that's
that's the ultimate dream.
ultimate,
Like,
exactly, right?
Retire them early.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then second thing I want to say is, what time do you want to wake up in the morning? And then I'm gonna ask you, and then I'm gonna ask you.
I'd say in an ideal world, I genuinely, because I'm reading the 5 a.m. Club right
Yes.
now,
Yeah.
and
5 a.m.?
it's a book called the 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Club. It genuinely just talks about, like, I've read through about 80% of it. All it talks about is getting up at 5 a.m.
Okay.
and just do that, and the rest will fall into place. That's
Okay.
that's what it's been talking about throughout.
Right.
But so I want to get up at 5 a.m. But as a university student, and with everything going on, I'd say realistically, I'd start off by saying 6:37 for now, and then we'll push back to 5 a.m.
Okay, we'll say 6. Meet in the middle.
Yeah, 6.
Okay.
I think I agree with Sehan, because I also like read the same book like
Okay.
a long time back. But if you wake up at 5 a.m., then the distractions and everything are automatically less. And the first 1 hour of your life is the one which counts the most, like
Yeah.
of your
Okay.
day. the first 1 hour.
Okay.
So I mean, I essentially want to, like, of course, wake up at 5 a.m. only in the long run, but now as a university student, I aim like around 7 at least.
No,
Because
let's meet six.
that's being let's make it 6.
Let's
Yeah,
make it
let's make it
six.
6 because being
Okay.
realistic as well.
And
What time do I want to start waking up every
Yeah.
day? Ooh. So, I mean, ideally, I usually wake up by like 8 a.m. But I know that's late. I know that's late. That's very
it's
normal.
pretty good.
That's very normal though. It's
Yeah.
not. It's nothing like extraordinary where I'm like, oh, pat on the back. But in an ideal world, even in the winters, even over the summer, like just 5 a.m. 5 a.m.
5 a.m.
would be
Okay,
ideal.
so we all on the same page here. Six, six. We'll start off at six.
Yeah.
So I'm saying we'll all hold each other accountable.
Fair enough. I think
So-
that's the best way to do it.
Exactly.
We have a group chat
We
going.
have a group
Yeah.
chat going. I'll get your numbers after the pod as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And I'll ring you on like double dial you every day in the morning at 6 a.m.
And
You guys can double dial me as well because I need it. Because sometimes I wake up at 7, 5, 6,
Yeah,
4, depending on like how excited I am in the night.
Yeah, for sure.
But wait, pause. That did not come out correct by any means. But
How
like
excited he is in the morning. I wonder.
I'm excited to get to work in the morning, essentially. But like, we can't. But we'll hold each other accountable every day at 6 a.m. At least we'll start off with the month at 6 a.m. and then we can see, if we all are doing it. It'll take a month to get it to happen.
I think one thing that really helps when you get up early is that knowing that you're the only one doing this in your building, in your block, when you get up early is such a big push. Like you just start thinking that, oh, I'm already ahead. Like by the time everyone's up, you've done 4 hours of work, and you're like, oh wow, like I've gotten my core tasks of the day done. So I'm already ahead of everyone. So that is one thing that can push all of us.
100%.
The thing with the 5 a.m. club only,
Right.
it says that when you wake up, you like ought to do your first, like, the most difficult task of the day during your first like 1 or 2 hours of the day when it starts,
Okay.
because that way you're not pushing it out in the later field and you're not trying to avoid it.
Yeah.
You're done with the most difficult part, and then just having that feeling, like, because I mean, I try to do as much as I can,
Absolutely.
that just getting the heavy things off the way, just having that feeling that once you're done with everything and it's 9 a.m., it's just 8 a.m., and just seeing people around just wake up and go for coffee and all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty solid feeling.
It is. It is. 100%.
I'm saying, right, we'll hold each other accountable 6 a.m. 6. At least we'll start off with a month.
This podcast is testament to that. Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
If we don't do it, I'm gonna make a
Look,
public video.
Everyone in the comments make fun of us, please. I'm not just doing this to get traction.
Or give Sheshta dad.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. I mean, yeah. I'm pretty
Top
ballsy. I'm
comment,
pretty
top comment.
ballsy. I'll do it.
Top
I'll do
comment.
it.
So we'll do that. We're starting today, like tomorrow morning, essentially.
Yes.
We'll start this. So, what is one thing you're gonna do 6 a.m.? Like, what's the high value task you're gonna have to do initially in the morning for the business,
For the business,
For the personal
or like personal business?
I think
Yeah.
I think just both essentially.
meditation.
My mom is big on meditation. She's taught me the values and the benefits of meditation, and I've started off by just doing 5 minutes of meditation the moment I wake up. And I'll be very honest, and this is a bit embarrassing, but at the third minute my mind starts wandering off. So that's how less my mind can stay at one task, and that is something that is really horrible because of how we our brains are fried with the phones and all the gadgets. So
Doom scroll.
it's like you can't sit without anything. Without, like, 5 minutes is nothing.
Yes.
And by the third minute I'm like already thinking about other things, like, oh, what do I what am I wearing, what shoes do I wear to, like, what are these useless thoughts I'm having when I'm supposed to be mindful at this task
Yeah,
right now.
100%.
So I think I'm starting off daily by pushing that 5 to 10, then 10 to 15, and let's start off like that. And just having that mindful sense in the start of the day is something that keeps a positive attitude.
100%.
And I've like recently started watching again Ali Abdal on YouTube.
Yes, yes, feel good product.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
That book is so. I have that book. It's very good. Yeah. Dude, so same wavelength, but yeah,
So,
very
so,
good
so
book.
for what? So one of his recent videos, he mentioned that just get off. Like once the alarm rings, just get off the bed. Don't look at your phone at all. Like for the first half an hour, 1 hour of the day. So what I've like recently started is just when I get up, since I'm an international student, I just check my phone if my mom's called me or not, and then I just get off the bed. I don't open it off. I just check it through notifications,
Yes, yes.
and then I just get off the bed and I try to get things going rather than just checking anything, even an email for a fact. I'm like it can wait half an hour. But that just gets me going so much because I mean it just starts off my day in a very fresh mood and in a very like energetic mood
Yes.
as compared to if I just like for example I even if I open WhatsApp for a matter of fact that I mean it just slows down everything.
100%.
For sure. And like one thing I definitely say is like one of the things my mentor told me is like when you wake up, like when you before you sleep and everything, but yeah, I'm assuming you guys use your phone alarm. Right? Yeah. So I just put the phone like in a place I have to get up and fix it because then it wakes the whole freaking house up. So I have to like it's like a mission.
Yes.
Wake up, get the phone, and then when I'm up, like
Yo.
I'm up. Like
Yeah.
I'm so cooked that I keep my phone on a table which is away from me, and I go to the phone, switch it off, and come back to the bed. That's how bad it is at times. Yeah.
You gotta do what you gotta
Yeah.
do, man. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I've done it multiple times as
Yeah.
well. Like I wake up at 6.
Yeah.
I'm like I've woken up at 6. Heck yeah, and then I just go back to the bed. I
But
wake up
it,
at 12.
and then it's such a bad feeling when you're up that you had the chance, you were up, and you decided to be weak.
Yeah.
It's such a bad feeling. But
Yes.
yeah.
Started you off with a small win and
Yeah,
it'll be a
it's the
win.
biggest win you can start a day off
Yeah,
with.
yeah, yeah.
And doing your bed and like first accomplishment.
Yeah,
Doing your bed.
Yeah.
so there's this book that I would recommend. I mean, I read it back when I was in 10th standard.
Okay.
It's like the frog procrastinator or
The frog.
something like this.
The
The
frog.
frog procrastinator. It's like a 48-page book only,
Okay.
40 to 50,
Yeah.
and it's like it tells you how to not procrastinate. And the first point it has is that since you mentioned that's what I'm saying that make your own bed
Right.
Yeah.
as soon as you get up. That's the first thing I do because
Yes.
I mean it's the first point and it's the last point as well of this
100%.
book. I believe that, and it's one of the craziest book that I've read because it genuinely does. It's something like that. I don't
My
remember the exact
phone's
name
like on the table.
because I read it in 10th standard. One of my good friends recommended it to me, and then it's something related to the frog, and it's about procrastination. So yeah, it's an amazing. It's like a 50-page book, so it's like one of the
Amazing.
best books there is.
And I'm curious. I'm sure you guys must be doing this. Do you guys like have a checklist before you guys go to sleep? To what to do the next day?
Yeah.
I mean, I use Google Calendar to time everything, but in terms of targets, yeah, we do have daily targets.
Right.
But one thing I say is that you, in all likelihood, because of how ambitious we all are, we won't meet our daily targets at 100%. But I feel like even this is not just daily targets. I last year 2023, both of us on 31st December 2023, we sat down and we made a vision board. Okay, and
Very-
everyone does it. Like
Yeah.
it's not a big deal, but we both have it in our rooms on the top. Like just the biggest thing you can see in my room is my vision board.
Yeah.
And my vision, like looking at it every day in the morning, and now the year is ending, like 2024. I look at it and I said, I've done this, but I've not done this, I've not done this, I've not done this, but I've done this, but I've not done this, and I've not done this. Then I say, in totality, I've hit it with 40% efficiency.
Yes.
But one thing is that 40% efficiency beats the hell out of zero.
Oh yeah.
So that's the biggest thing. Yeah.
That's how it's meant to be, bro. Like
So it's like
You gotta make one, by the way.
vision board, yeah, I know, bro. My Canva skills are terrible.
yeah,
I saw his vision board. It's on his laptop. Actually, it's his
Yeah.
wallpaper. It
Yeah.
looks amazing. And
Yeah.
I was showing him this other vision board that inspired me. It's by this YouTuber who's all about like fitness, mindset,
Yeah.
all of that. But his vision board's insane. Like it's pretty sick. And I
Yeah.
want him I wanted mine to like kind of mimic that. No,
Yeah.
it's not the same. But yeah, I've just been
I think, and one thing we did wrong initially was that we said vision board. Oh, all professional targets, sense, academics, this, that, whatever, and then we researched and we realized a vision board is meant for all aspects of
Yeah.
life. If you just focus on your work, everything apart from that will go haywire, and you will have issues with your mental health. You'll be like, oh, I've sacrificed my mental health, my physical health. So I've put in targets of, hey, I have to be 20 days in the gym each month.
Yes.
That's a target for me. So 5 days a week.
Yeah.
And then I have written a few targets like health wise as well, what I can do with my diet. Then I've also written relationship as well. So like not just romantic relationship, but like
Friendships. Yeah.
take out time for your friends, call your mom, dad. Like there's a section which is just catered to relationships.
100%.
Because if you just look at the top aspect, which is work, and you ignore the relationships and the health,
Yeah.
you're not gonna succeed. Because
For sure.
once
One up.
yeah
Hey
yeah
guys, really quick. That's my vision board.
Oh wow.
But there you go.
You got subscribers are not going on over there.
Yeah, like that's my like daily vision board goals.
Oh,
I'll keep it like a picture on the
no, that I think that's a good way to look at it. Like you keep it as your desktop wallpaper, so you
Push it
have to
every
look
day.
at it.
You have to look at it every day and just kind of push yourself on.
But I'd say print out a copy of that and put it.
Copy
That's
is
good.
very
That's
Any
solid.
good.
print yes,
Staples.
We we went a bit. Yeah.
So we went to Staples. We got everything done. Like
Yeah.
we got a board. We printed it out.
No, like a hard copy.
Hard copy,
Like
like
a
a
hard
board, like a cardboard board.
Yeah.
canvas.
No, like similar to canvas.
I'm assuming just thick, really
Thick.
thick.
Yeah, yeah,
paper.
yeah.
You gotta do that, dude. That's
That'd be pretty fun.
And,
Yeah,
and,
that
then,
would
and
be
then just
fun.
make it out. Like we took a whole evening for that.
Mhm.
And trust me, it's one of the best things because I wake up and I look at every morning.
You have to get it
And-
pumped.
Yeah.
But the
this
thing
is
is,
exciting.
Fire it up.
what he said was just true because I've also like failed quite a lot in that aspect, but at least I tried it out.
Yeah.
At least I know what the experience is like now. Because I never thought during last year, same time, you in November last year, I didn't know that I could at least try it out so many different stuff.
Yeah.
I could be part of so many different clubs, do so many different competitions and XYZ.
For sure.
But at least I tried it out. Even if I failed at the end goal, but at least I was there somewhere.
You tried. Yeah, that's what
Right.
matters.
And it's like last year in November, I was the shyest kid ever. Couldn't speak to two people. Had slight anxiety, and I was like, okay, like I had a few anxiety medication, but I was like, how do I beat this? And then now I'm just like, now I speak to 200 people a day if I'm doing sales. And even if I'm not, I speak to 30, 40, 50 odd.
Yeah.
And then so many tasks in terms of putting myself out there, and then jobs, and then the startup. And I've tried these things out, albeit that I didn't complete all my targets and the numbers and all of that stuff I put myself through. But I've tried it out and I've initiated. It means that the 2025 vision board will be a lot more practical, will be a lot more structured, and I'll know how to do it better. So if I've done 40% efficiency this year, I can guarantee you that next year I'm going to 100% improve that 40 to at least a 60. Because I'm not going to say I'm going to do 100%, but I'll aim for 100%. That's how you'll get.
To land a
That's
successful
how you
business.
get to
Yeah.
And like, what's the structure for like a vision board for the both of y'all? Like, I know you said relationships, professional goals, personal goals, like and everything. But like, how do you guys structure it? If I want to structure mine,
Sure.
or like the viewer wants to structure things, how do you tell them to structure?
So what I personally have done, both of our vision board is quite different.
Okay.
I mean, of course, because
Yeah,
each person do it. So,
yeah.
yeah. And so what I've done is basically I've had few of my like, people whom I look up to at the center of my vision board, so that whenever I look up, I know that not only successful people, but people who are just there who I've like known and who have inspired me a lot in my journey. I have them in my vision board, and then I have like different aspects divided onto on that vision board. Like they are in the center, and then on one corner is a relationship aspect that I have. And the vision board doesn't state that what I want. It's like what I have to do, and it's not like achieve a 20%. It's like getting like I got a 20% in finance, and it's like what I've already done. It's
Positive affirmation.
positive affirmations as well.
Yeah.
So the vision board has like a lot of positive affirmation itself. And it also had like a list of books that I had to read during 2024.
Okay.
And like it's stated that I've already read, and like it's just positive affirmation and just what you have already done and what you like not want to achieve, but what you have already achieved, like some sort of that type of like I approach vision board like that.
Yeah. I think one thing apart from the vision board, since he's already spoken about that, is that sometimes I do something unique, which I tried out this year. Was I did a whole week of a dopamine detox, which was like no no social media, no TV, no Netflix, no music as well. So nothing, like nothing. Like it's and only healthy food. I can't have carbonated drinks or coffee, and it helps me because
That's insane.
I don't like coffee in itself.
Okay.
So I'd allowed myself like protein shakes
Okay.
and like fresh juice, like fresh pressed
Fresh
juice.
juice. Yeah.
So just that, if you want anything apart from water, and then healthy food. So you
Yeah.
can't have all the oil
Processed
and
sugary
stuff like
shit.
that.
Yeah.
So I'd read about the benefits of it, but there on the internet there's a lot of good things and bad things about it. Some people say it's a bunch of like horse shit. Like
It's a myth.
it's just you're just killing yourself and to look cool.
Yeah.
And I get that as well, but I thought, what's the worst that could happen? You won't have music for a week, so be it. At least give it a shot. So I tried it, and I think it helped me in the sense that it helped me understand how dependent I am on these things. Like just the thing that we as individuals don't give us ourselves time to think about things.
Mhm.
Like if I tell you to brainstorm ideas, you don't give yourself time to brainstorm ideas. And like my main goal from this was that in all of the time where I waste doing all this useless stuff, I just want to think. I just want to think about things, and that is the best way to get more ideas for your startup. And not just your startup, but your anything you want to do. Just and the best part is you don't need to do. I'm not telling myself to write something. I'm not giving myself a task. I'm just saying don't do these things, and just be yourself. You'll think on your own,
Yes.
and that is something that really helped me. Like I thought of so many more things from a personal point of view, from everything. So yeah, that's
I think one thing that he got from it as well, like an outcome, that he was committed to that. Like being committed to one thing is also quite like it's quite difficult. I also tried it out, and I couldn't complete it for 7 days. But he stayed it to the cause. He was committed to the cause, and he just went on going. I
That's
mean,
fair.
just be committed to just one thing, be it just the dopamine detox. It just shows that yeah, you can be committed to something like this also for a week. Be it like if something else, something big comes up that yeah, you have the capability.
Right.
Yes.
So you've done the 1 week dopamine detox, 75
75
hours.
hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
no,
I also
I fully full no, no, I've not done it. He's
medium.
he's done it to an extent, but
Okay.
like I fully respect people who do that because
No,
it is beyond tough. Like it is very very tough.
it was over the summer. I
Yeah,
did
no, but
classes, but
it's
yeah.
like hats off if you manage to.
It's honestly it was just more of a I think more than the physical aspect of it being hard, it was more just like the mental part, of
Yeah.
like me trying to figure out, okay, I have so much time on my
Yeah,
hands now to do
yeah.
with it. How do I just make every day more productive? And I think I also just learned a lot about myself, learned a lot about
Yeah.
you know the relationships in my life, everything. And I think it was just an eye-opening experience, just like the dopamine detox. All these challenges, right? They're just meant they're like soul searching challenges
Yeah.
essentially. They all come under that one umbrella. It was fun. It was fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it, man. Yeah.
You're in Vancouver during the summer.
Yes,
Yeah,
full
and
summer.
especially with the euros and everything going on.
Yes, yes,
avoiding
yes.
and avoiding different like just cheat meals or anything.
Cheat
It was
meals.
so tough. I mean,
Yeah,
Funny.
I'm telling you, every like if you've done that during a Euro summer, it's the biggest achievement because I was there at 10 a.m. at Sports Illustrated pub having a pint,
and watching the game.
watching the game. Like that's what I was doing the whole summer. So it's like if you manage to do it during Euro summer, it's like hats off.
I just changed alcohol to like Diet Coke.
Yeah, but they're fair enough. Yeah. And I think one thing since we're talking about alcohol as well is that in terms of sometimes something what I do is that at times just to give myself a detox, I say that okay, this month I'll have junk food, I'll do this. But the next month I'm strict no matter what occasion comes, no alcohol.
I'm curious. What is one parting thing you want to tell everyone, both of you? Like, if you had to give one person or any person, I don't know where I'm going with this, any viewer, a piece of advice, what is that advice you'd give them?
I'd like to start off by saying um I'll put it like this: believe in yourself, but believe in yourself in this way that right now, I know with sense, with my academic journey, with everything, I am nowhere. I am nowhere. But I am confident that I can reach the top. So be humble in the sense that you know that you're nowhere right now, but be confident and trust yourself, back yourself this much that you know you can reach the very top. So that's one thing I'd like to say.
But honestly, like just try, because people don't even try out there. Just go ahead and try, and like just dream as if you know like you won't fail. Just why not? Just go ahead.
Absolutely.
Give it a shot. What's the worst that can happen? Just go ahead and try.
No, thank you so much.
Also,
Go.
The more you fuck around,
The more you find out, yeah, yeah.
For sure, for sure. And sorry.
yeah.
The camera died.
Guys, if you guys wanna check out Sense, I'm gonna link their Instagram and all their socials in the description down below. I'm also gonna link both of their names and their Instagrams down below. Make sure to check out Sense if you guys want sick advertisements and everything on the bottles. Check them out. And thank you so much for hopping on the episode, guys. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
This was an absolute
No,
pleasure.
no,
You came
no.
back.
100%,
It's
100%.
like my favorite episode.
Yeah. Oh,
And,
wow, that's,
yeah.
that's a long one.
And I'm gonna end it with this. You guys not only motivated me, but like you guys have even inspired me like to believe in myself even more. So thank you for that. And
Likewise, man. Likewise.
Yeah.
Being
Thank you,
across
guys.
the-
This
like I think we both now it's high time both of our pair and your pair hold each other accountable.
100%.
For sure.
100%, yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome guys. Well check them out and yeah.
Yeah. See you guys in the next one.
See you, man. Bye bye.